Bob Nagy here, AB5N. Today I'm going to cover a couple of radios which are not typically just ham radios, but radios that hams might be interested in and the general public would be interested in. And those are portable radios that cover the shortwave bands and AM and FM. Now, a few years ago, the Japanese were really hot on this because there was a lot of shortwave broadcasting around the world, and Sony and Panasonic and Sangean all made great radios, and that has sort of quieted down because there's a lot less AM broadcast going on in shortwave. Everything's gone internet. But China is a different story. They have a huge population, they have a lot of medium wave and shortwave stations there, and they do have a brisk sale in shortwave portable radios. So a company has come up into focus now called TecSun, T-E-C-S-U-N. And most hams haven't heard of it. TecSun, wow, that sounds like that was strategically chosen for the American market. Radios not made in Texas. Anyway, these little receivers are quite interesting. Here they are, it's the current top of the line and the previous top of the line, the PL660 and the PL880 by TecSun, both battery operated and both covered pretty much the same bands. So we're going to take a quick overview of what are these things all about. It could be a good value, it might be something you want to buy. Let's take a quick look at the fit and finish of these two radios. Here's the silver version of the PL660. Still got the little piece of plastic over the bezel there, haven't pulled it off. Surface silvering like this tends to wear off after a time, so it looks pretty in the beginning, but bass treble, antenna sensitivity controls, external antenna input on the top, power adapter on the bottom, headphones, tuning knob, BFO adjustment on the side, and volume. The rear has the 4AA battery compartment here, slides off, and both have the pop-out stand in the back, which is nice. The PL660 case is a soft vinyl thing with a Velcro in the front, sort of a padded case. Not too bad. The 880 is a polished piece of equipment. They really put a lot of effort into the cosmetics and fit and finish. Tuning knobs are much superior, have a little bit of silicone in them, so they're nice and smooth. Display is very, very similar. Connections on the side are also very similar, except for the lack of a bass and treble control. Does have line out with adjustable level, and the rear is similar with the pop-out stand, which is nice, and the battery compartment for the one LiPo battery. The PL880 comes with a fake brown leather case, quite nice, with a little cotton velvet on the inside, or poly. Quick cheat sheet in Chinese, but really looks nice with a radio in it. Here's a comparison of FM broadcast sensitivity.
To you if you'll leave us your name and your email address.
And this piece will blow your mind.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's one page.
And if you see it, and when you understand this, you're going to understand something that the vast majority of Americans absolutely do not understand, and it will drive home to you the importance of us. Like Risk-A-Wise.
I've got to interject here that one of the things that just absolutely frustrates the dog out of me about the way we do retirement is the whole process of signing up for your 401k basically goes like this. Hi, I'd like to...
This is a station 50 miles away.
Here you go. Here's your packet.
Here's a comparison of a shortwave station, middle of the day, moderate signal strength on 15.7 megahertz.
Auto tallies and select all those bars. Just fill out your personal information and your tickets will be automatically produced out. But I don't know about foreigners.
No, the machine won't work for foreigners because you insert your Chinese ID card, don't you, Ninji? When you collect your ticket.
I just need to touch in.
Deep fade there.
Yeah, that system will not work with a foreign passport, which means you will need to either go as a person or preferably a train station. But it is important that we do note out that there are train stations located all across Beijing.
Yes.
And say, for example, you're traveling from Beijing West Station. That doesn't mean you can't go to any of the to collect your ticket.
Oh, now I know. So last time I was very inconvenient. So when it comes to airlines, so we're moving away from trains to airlines, China Eastern, China Southern, Hainan Airlines, Air China, different besides their destination. The only
I'm going to go to wider bandwidth.
Eastern is that if there is a delay, you can listen
Narrow.
to
Narrow.
on the public announcement system.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wide.
But to
It
be,
sounds so painful. Are there any other options, Byron?
no, there is not.
Not a heck of a lot of difference on this particular station.
I like his voice.
It's no Terminal 3.
But to be serious, Chinese airspace has.
All right, we're going to take a little comparison on 20 meters sideband here, amateur radio. Had to bring the radios outside where we get a little bit of reception. And we'll start with the 660 on 14208.
2 wires feeding 2 wires is the best antenna in the world. Hey, Jimmy, is AMSOIL good? AMSOIL is awesome.
And here's narrow.
You should see.
Wide. You can tell when I'm switching it wide.
2 wires feeding 2 wires at AMSOIL, Ben. Hey, Jimmy, I need straight weight 30. You can't even find that on the shelves anymore.
Over to the 880.
Straight weight 30, just 30W. Yeah.
What's this, is it doing it a car engine or something?
No, 120 horse. Okay, now, hey, Ben, just straight weight 30. You don't want 030, you just
You can hear a little bit of warbling in it.
030. I want 30W, 30 weight. Okay. Hey, Mike. Let me look it up.
A little overloading on that leading edge of the words when the signal first comes in.
Yeah, real oil. Okay, 30 weight. No problem. I'll look. I can get
Back to the 660.
You sometimes have that over at the PX, over with a lot more stuff.
All right, I want Quaker 30 weight. Quaker 30 weight, a whole case.
Now, what I've seen is Briggs and Stratton, Briggs brand 30.
Right back to the 880.
Never heard. I thought Briggs makes engines.
No, they have it occasionally over there, and I
Give me a holler with the price,
I think
will
it
you?
was Briggs brand, believe it or not.
Give me a holler with the price so we can see it.
I'll take a looky poo.
Oh, he doesn't have a phone, that's for
660.
You gotta have the girl's phone.
I'll call you out 2 meters.
Okay, fair enough.
You can tell the oscillator is solid on this one.
The only other place that I've been able to find it is over at Ed's over there at Napa.
Yeah, it's good that way.
Here's a test in code over here for CW. Let's take a listen. One thing the 880 can do here is to adjust the bandwidth. Rather nice. You can still tell that the master oscillator is smoother on the 660. Because of the wider bandwidth, you can hear that high frequency sort of whine in there. Still copyable though. So if you're trying to choose which one of these radios might be the radio for you, which one would be the right one? Well, if you're just into AM broadcasts, listening on the shortwave bands, there's a lot of Christian broadcasters, a few international shortwave stations left. Either radio works just fine. The 660 is a little bit more sensitive, so it works a little bit better on its internal pull-up antenna. But if you were to add the sort of 20-foot piece of wire that comes with this one, or just a hunk of wire attached to the end of the antenna, no more than about 20 feet, the 880 catches up rapidly and does absolutely fine. They're very close in sensitivity on shortwave, although 660 edges out, as you've heard. On the other side, if you're listening to a single sideband and you're listening to the amateur radio broadcast on the different bands, the 880 has that nasty flaw in that it has an unstable master oscillator. I cannot imagine how they released it with that. Didn't have to do that, but that is a problem that amateur operators listening to this receiver would probably not tolerate. On the other hand, if you're not a ham radio operator and you want to casually listen to a few ham broadcasts, you can understand what they're saying and it's all right, but there's a little that instability in there, and we would, as amateurs, would never accept that. If you are a DXer and you are listening to very weak stations, try to pull those ones out, the 660 sort of edges that 880 out a little bit, and its sync detector works really good and locks on and pulls those stations out of the mud really well, so it's actually a better little DXer radio. On the other hand, if you were, say, an FM listener, FM broadcast listener, and you listen to a station that's 50, 60 miles away and you've got trouble receiving it, well, if you got trouble receiving it, 660 pulls those stations in a little bit better, but not with as good an internal speaker. If you had local stations and you listen to stuff that's got a pretty decent signal level and you know you can hear it, the 880 is the one for you because it has nice bass and treble range, and that speaker has been vastly improved. You know, the cosmetics of a radio, although this is a much slicker package, when it comes down to it, you're listening to the radio to hear stations, and that's why I'm sort of, you know, giving the nod to those performance features. And the other thing, of course, is the consideration of price. 150-ish, 100-ish, 50% higher price on this. Radio does about the same thing with a lack of airband on the 880. The sensitivity on the airband, I didn't show it, but it's not very good on the 660, so you have to be sort of close to the airport to be hearing things on this on airband. The memories, you got a ton of memories, more than you'll ever need in either radio. The features of automatically programming them also work in either radio well, probably similar processors inside, and the hidden features that we find on the 880 you can look up by holding certain buttons down were pretty much things that they didn't really work out fully and didn't put in the manual because they really don't work well, like their sync detector in this, not very good to lock onto AM stations. Dynamic digital noise reduction, not really any help. A few of the other hidden features, adjusting the line level output and things like that, are little helps. So much slicker package, but when it comes down to it, I don't know. This also, I didn't mention, has the bass treble switch on it, the 880 on the other side. So we've got this on opposite sides on these two radios. No biggie right there, and auto light adjustments on the top left here as well, top right to you. So if it's for my buck, 660, 2 thumbs up. I'm going to give the 880 1 thumb up, but 50 bucks more? And I like to DX, and I like to listen to really weak FM stations. AM broadcast is equally bad on both of these. They're not superb radios. So if you're going to do that, add a little loop antenna you can buy and put it next to the radio, and it'll pull in the AM stations at night a little bit better. But I'm going to have to give the nod to the PL660 by TecSun. Now, several years old, boy, you can get a deal, about 85 bucks used on this. So if you have need of a nice little, portable radio, I mean, who doesn't? Yay. Until next time, take care.